This is something very close to my, well, whatever's keeping me alive, I guess. It's hard to put into words. I can't truly describe what it is. It's kind of, you know what you want to say, but it doesn't get translated into words, I guess. Makes my brain feel like as empty as the space around me right now. I want to ramble more, but I haven't really found the, well, I guess I won't say the time. My waking days get fewer and fewer over time, I guess. I think I just miss my cave and the comfort that it brought to me, the safety I felt. I didn't know that I'd miss it that much, but I guess all things need to change. Though I will say, suddenly being into space is kind of a drastic one. Good on you, nature. I'll get you next time. But if I had to describe it, or I'll try to put it into words as much as I can. It's it is something that feels like meaning, like importance, like something you feel and you kind of know without knowing. Does that make sense? I don't know if it does. But I guess I don't really need to make sense. Since I'm here in space, and any bird that would have known where I was could not get up here. I think, at least. Ever since floating here, I've become more obsessed with this concept, mostly due to myself. I think my origin is greed. I think what I'm trying to put into words is origin, something everyone and everything I think has. Something you can kind of sense, or something you sense having, something you sense that something has, I guess. Shit. Something you sense that something has. That's why I think my origin is greed. Always wanting change. Then when I got the change, I begged for more change. Like now. Or I guess the reversal of said change. Or maybe I think anything over just floating, I think. Being on the ground really feels cozy in a way. Right now, my back is bare and cold, I think, for as much as I can sense cold. But who would blame me, right? I think anyone would want change in my position. And I think there's a minimum amount of comfort one should get. Now, if that's always the case, it'd be mostly no. Also, I don't want to say that greed is a bad thing. Too much greed is, but everyone should at least have a little greed or a spark, I guess. Well, no. More like the want to want more. But that's the fascinating thing with people persons. We yearn for a certain greed. And when we get it, our brain adapts. The old normal forgotten, and the new normal a standard after the comfort phase is over. Then it begins. You want more. Someone else wants more. Everyone wants more. If everyone wants more, then you that wants more gets less because everyone wants more, and if everyone wants more, there's less more for you to more. Get it? And when there is no more, they begin to take. Take, take, take. Well, that usually doesn't happen unless they have more power or something you want. So then there's a bargaining chip for either safety or literally something you trade or have to trade, I guess. There's always someone greedier, someone who takes it too far, but what can you do? All in all, greed isn't a bad thing. If anything, I think I should be greedier. I'd like a shell with an air pocket under the sea. I think that would be cozy. I won't have a hole that goes into the open air. I'd have a hole that goes into the sea. I'd like to look at the water go up and down. I feel like that would be calming. I feel like that would be chill. Hearing the water splash against one side and the other. Oh, and the texture of the shell would probably be amazing. There's nothing better than good floor. That's what I want, and I'll keep well existing until I get it. But back to the topic at hand, origin. I've talked about my origin, but I think certain places and moments have an origin of themselves. Like my cave. I like to think that its origin was solitude. It's just a feeling you get when you look at something. Like it sinks into your mind space and leaves an impression. Picture something smoky and purple, and then add a bed. But don't just add a bed. The bed doesn't have a shape, but you feel like it does. Don't put too much thought into it. Just experience it. One might also just float in it if wished for. The center of the space is where you reside. No smoke, just some slightly cold, clear air. You don't feel cold, but it's rather soothing. You feel enclosed, yet you also float freely through. I think that comes close to the feeling. It can happen anytime, I think at least. Like you're looking at something, and at first you don't really get it. But then something changes or you look at it in a different way, and there it is. It leaves an impression, or it makes you feel something. But maybe I'm getting origin confused with truth. I actually don't know. There's a certain parallel that both have to the thing I'm trying to put into words. I think it's definitely something in those moments or places, but who am I to see something like that as the truth of it or its origin? That's like only my interpretation of the moment or place. So it's kind of hypocritical to assume that there is something if I see it, or only I see it, I guess. But when it comes to beings or places, I think I'm usually pretty spot on. Then again, I don't have anyone to cross reference it with. So I guess all reality that I make is reality that is true. Or it has to be, I guess. No one can stop me. Well, as long as I don't meet anyone or have anything of sentience near me, that's. I'll tackle that when that happens. For now, I don't think the eye is much more sentient than any of the other stars. Where one sees freedom in a bird is where I could see it being trapped between the ground and the sky. Or how I can also say that the origin of my cave is comfort instead of solitude. A nice secluded spot where you can just breathe. Solitude and comfort have some coexisting traits, and I'd say they're both pretty fitting. It seems like there's a certain emotion attached to it, but I can't put it into words what it is. I guess all I can do is just experience it. There was a bird once I saw flying through the sky with many, many other birds. They do that despicable thing where they fly together. Ugh. But I need not look twice. I already hated that bird with every fiber of my being. I guess I do have those since I'm a moss man. I am made of fibers. I don't know why I had such a bad feeling when I saw it. I hated the way it flew, the way it squawked, especially the way it pooped. The flock seemed to be pretty alright with him, but I don't know why. I saw it steal food from the others, fight with the others, heck, even borderline bully them. Yet nonchalantly and casually went on like it didn't do anything. That's when I knew why I hated that particular bird. Like its origin is something icky, fake, pretentious even. I think I've had that with many other creatures I've seen. Many creatures are on mostly just an level. Like, I don't like them or hate them. Even if they pooped into my cave. Man, I never thought I'd miss the poop so much. But back to the matter at hand. There are some creatures, albeit few, that I just vibe with right away. I don't know what it is, but I don't seem to mind them existing in a space where I exist. You could call it instinct. You could also call it a gut feeling. I just think that some things have, and beings, have a truth attached to them. Some feel dirty, some feel nice. Some feel, like I said, just standard. It really is kind of seeing what is and what isn't. I will say though, I have never been wrong about the creatures I've hated before without any reason. And I also try to not let that take control or the main ground, you know? Since there might be a time where I could potentially be wrong, and then it kind of looked like I'm just waiting to find a moment and be like, "Yep, I've always known it. He's bad. She's bad. They're bad. This, that, that." Somewhere I do want to trust myself in those decisions, and I usually am more cautious of the person or the being. But I don't know. I want to trust myself more. I mean, I haven't been wrong yet, and I don't think I'll be wrong ever. But that's when hubris comes in. And I don't want to make a mistake purely because I was arrogant. I'm getting tired again. I think it's time to sleep. I hope I wake soon. I want to ramble more. For now, I guess, good night to me and whoever might be there.